I think we're good. Probably. I really need a better solution to starting streams than guessing that I'm actually live. But regardless, welcome back to Satisfactory. Had a rather awful time last stream trying to find stuff. Died a couple times, which was very annoying. But we are over halfway to having our modular engines complete. And last stream I was lamenting our lack of motor production. Even though we have this thing with summer sloops multiplying so we get 10 per minute, it's not sustainable because we just do not have enough iron rods going in here. So I thought today would be a good idea to go ahead and make a dedicated motor factory that could be running at all times, that could make at least 10 per minute. So what's going to happen here is we're going to need to have a dedicated space, and we're going to need to take a look at our production of screws and iron rods and see if there's any way we can kind of fudge it a little bit so we can have a separate factory for all this. Keep in mind we are using currently a lot of the rods for this mess, but we need to, you know, actually I did math. Let me pull up the, I know that's dangerous. Let me pull up the sheet here on the other monitor so I don't lose it. There we go. Okay, let's see who's in chat. Hayden Edwards dropped by to say hi before stream. Let's see. If you're headed to the fuel plant area, there might be some rocks that can be removed via explosions on some of the islands. If we go over there, we definitely can do that. Jad Games, hello. How long are you planning on streaming? Currently about 2 to 3 hours. I don't know. If it goes well, it'll be longer. If not, then, well, we'll see. Let's see. Hello, Shabam. Hello, Gaming Badger. Hello, Lurkers. There's a couple of you in chat. Don't know how long you can stay. Me either. But glad to have you here. Alright, so we've got all of this wire coming in through here. I know this bugs the crap out of me. We're going to move that. We've got steel pipes. We've got, like I said, screws. We've got the iron rods. We have everything we need in terms of supply. It may just not be the right amounts. 3 a.m. in Australia. Oh, yeah. Well, hey, if you need to go to bed, please go to bed. But glad to have you here regardless. So to make 10 motors per minute without the use of summer sloops, we have to have 2 assemblers working on the motor recipe, assuming we don't overclock anything. We have to have 5 assemblers making screws and iron rods. Well, iron rods aren't made in assemblers. Wait, no, I labeled this wrong. It was like 3 a.m. when I did this last night. 2 assemblers for the rotors. I mistyped. 2 assemblers for rotors. 4 assemblers for stators. Wait, no. Can I just start over? Can we end stream and start over so I can reset my brain? I can't even talk today. I don't know what's wrong with me. Well, I've got a couple ideas. I'm not going to narrate it. I'm just going to do it. Because when I use words, it's wrong. So, let's move on. I can't believe this, man. It must be so much fun to stream all the time. Yeah, well, I can't even talk half the time, so then people think I'm stupid. That's fine. So I will just have a 4x4 spot here. This will get removed. We'll set up all these machines first, and then worry about everything else later. So, like I said, 4x4 spot here. The amount of machines, regardless of what they are called, or what they do, or what the recipe is, or if they even exist, the number of machines we actually need to make all this stuff won't quite fit in 4x4. But if we use some of this space, it should be fine. Or we can just say, you know what? We'll just expand this anyhow. Doesn't really matter. You know, I had all these ideas yesterday about I was going to be, you know, actually smart and have this set up in a way that was going to make sense. And then today my brain says, no, you're not. You're not allowed to do things correctly. So, at any rate, to make rotors, to supply all of that, assuming that we are going to not have anything duplicated or overclocked or whatever, we will need to find a space for 11 assemblers. 2 for the motors, 5 for rotors, 4 for stators. I did use the Satisfactory tools. Satisfactory calculator, whatever the website's called. I just have an extreme inability to actually use words, which is really bad, but nothing I can do about it. So I want the output of these machines to kind of meet in the middle here, and then go into two... I already forgot what these are called. The name's on the screen. My brain is completely cooked, dude. I don't even have any fun excuses for why that's the case. Alright. So, I'm just going to build concrete foundations until I get tired of it. And then we'll start in the middle. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. Now I forgot where I was. Good job. Alright. So this is the middle. Gonna have two assemblers here making motors, which probably, for the sake of what we're doing here, can just be on either side of this, I think. Encroaching the clearance of... Oh, that's the manufacturer. Okay. So, I lied. Let's move this back one. Boy, great riveting content, huh? Alright, move that way. And then this should fit here. Yeah, I wasn't going to be able to have these actually next to each other in any satisfactory positioning, so those two set right there should be fine. These are going to be set to motors. Man, I can't even speak. I might just have to, you know, go back to bed. Alright, motors. Motors. Half going down this way, half going down this way, meet in the middle, so on and so forth. Or we could just have everything lined up. But I do have to have at least 5 assemblers for rotors and 4 assemblers for stators. I don't know. Man, I might have to take some time off this week just so my brain can reset. I know that's not going to be a popular thing, but it is for some reason almost impossible for me to talk properly, and has been for like a week. But I feel like I can't, like, not do stuff, you know? Oh, this is too close. That's not going to work. Alright, no idea. We put these on this side. I think this should work. Or do I want to leave space? I think I want to leave space. Alright. If that one goes there, I can't stick them right next to each other. We just talked about this. So it does have to have room. You know, alright. My god. Anybody watching on VOD, let me know in the comments in the future. Because I always feel bad for you guys when I sit here and I make stupid things that have to go reset, made over and over and over and over and over again. I am thinking about you. I'm not just completely ignoring this for the sake of the people who watch live, but... Alright. This will give us 10 motors if we supply everything. We do not have any alternate recipes for motors. We do not have any alternate recipes for rotors or stators, but we might be able to unlock some if we get lucky finding hard drives, but we don't have that right now. Cooked brain is what Satisfactory gives you. Yeah, well, the problem is I go into this with a pre-cooked brain. It's like instead of, you know, like twice baked potatoes, which actually taste good, it just ends up being, okay, well, this is concerning. Let's see, is that going to be close enough here? I probably, yeah, see, that's not going to work. But if this matches, no, you know what? I will give it a little bit of room here. Is that going to hang over? No. That goes there. How much room on the front? I guess that's, I'll go with this. So, one of these, depending on what we have going in here, it could go all the way down that way, or we could just have them back on that back side. I think based on... I forgot what I was going to say. I really am cooked, man. I don't know how people do this. I say as someone who is a people who does this. Alright. It also doesn't help that I can't aim things correctly. I guess that probably should have some space between it, maybe? No? That's fine. I wish I could zoop machines. That would be great. Because now I can't get close enough to, like, actually see the lines until I've already finished. Getting in the right spot for stuff. Okay, that should work. That would be 4. And this will give me 5 right here. Nope, still can't get it in the right spot. Ah, now I don't have enough rotors to make the machine that's supposed to make rotors. No, the Roller Coaster Tycoon is absolutely not affecting negatively. Because the people who watch it really enjoy it. They have good stats, it's just the view count's low. That's one of those things that I always want to be able to do because I get the subsidies from the people who are supporting the channel. Which, why can't I... There we go. And that's the entire reason why I'm doing that in the first place, is so that I don't have to feel bad about things not getting quite as good of a performance. But I need to go make some rotors for myself. Okay, how many can I make? I can make 22. I don't think I'm going to need 22, but I definitely need to have at least 20 long term so I can make the rest of my assemblers. Now, if anything, what's cooking my brain and ultimately harming the performance of stuff on the channel is when I can't do Timberborn videos right, because I've got way too much going on. I've noticed as the different series have gone... Oh, there we go. I already had 20 and I got distracted by myself. As the series have gone on and videos have gotten a little bit more popular, people start to watch the videos that don't kind of understand the way I do things and why, and then they get irritated that I don't, you know, cut 10 hours of progress out and to make a 30-minute video like so many other people do. They're like, why are you wasting so much time? I'm like, no, that's not how this works. But people, I don't know. And I say this, like 99.9% of the people who watch the videos are really, really into stuff, and they're nice about everything. And then you get like one person that comes in and says something that just like makes you mad. Like, man, this is going to ruin my whole day. But you can't let it. It's still very hard, though. All right, rotors over here. All the way down. So, this will make 20 rotors per minute, which, if you pay attention to the recipe of the actual motors over here, each of these machines takes 10. And now we just need to make stators, which, considering what goes into each of those things, take a look at our stuff here. 5 of these machines is going to require 100 iron rods per minute. I don't think we're making 100 iron rods per minute. We might need to set up a new factory for that. But outside of that, screws, 500 per minute. I think this factory, I actually don't know how much it's making. I forgot. But I know it's making more than 400 and whatever the Mark IV belts, 480. It's making more than that because I had to have 2 of those. So, we are going to need to go and check out all of these machines and see exactly what the output is, and if we are going to be able to utilize this by itself, or if we just have to go elsewhere. So, we got a Mark III belt here, we got a Mark III belt here, that's 270, 270, and it is backing up because the 480 is backing up. So I'm pretty sure this is going to top out at 480, but we will come up and check the backside of this to see exactly, because this splits in the middle for output. So this half has 8 machines, and I know a couple of them at the end are detuned. So that's 40, that means that other side is 80. That gets us to 160, and that gets us to 240. And then these on the end are making 30. So that does get us to 3... Wait, what? No, that doesn't make any sense. Why would I do that? Why would I have him producing more than the... Oh, God, here we go. Alright, am I going to have to count each individual machine? I think I'm going to have to count each individual machine. 40. That gives us 80. This gives us 120. That gives us 160. That gives us 200. That gives us 240. This gives us 270. And this gives us 300. So why did I do it like that? If the output is actually 300 off this whole half. Oh, no, you know what? It's because this half of an output, this quarter, the quadrant, if you will, is only 150, but it still has to be a Mark III belt. Okay. So, anyway, 300 is coming off of this side, and I can't remember if this other side is set up the same way. Alright, so that's 40, that's 40. I really should get those things that measure the output on the belts, but those are expensive. That gets us to 120, that gets us to 160. This should be the same. 200, 240. Yeah, okay, so I got 300 and 300. So we're making a total of 600 per minute. That's good news, because that's more than 500. But then the other problem turns into, how many iron rods are you making? And I have that down here. These two machines. Ah, see, I only have extra 30 per minute iron rods. We're going to have another source for iron rods. But we are making enough screws to have 500 of them come over here to this factory. That has been confirmed. These are only going into here or into our storage, which I think could just be set to overflow if we have smart splitters. And from here, as long as we're not using 100 or more, then we're in good shape. Because this is... Oh, I'm sinking the screws right now. That ought to give you a pretty good idea. So that's going in there. And then the screws are going into these two machines. How many is this using per minute? Okay, that one's 24, and that one's 50. So we have 74 going over here, and the rest are going in the garbage, except we're getting fun little tokens for them. We can actually do this, and I think it will work. So 500 have to come over here, which is going to be kind of weird to split this up with math, but you know how that goes. I got to bring the actual screws in, which those are already... Oh, that's plastic. I got these screws coming this way. I can, in theory, just take this, but it's going to be slightly underrepresented if I do it on Mark IV belts. I'm going to have to do like some sort of load balancing thing. But the most important thing is that this will work for screws. That's fine. Now the assemblers for the stator recipes, depending on how we want to do those, are going to require 60 steel pipes per minute and 160 wire per minute. I'm reasonably sure we can support 60 steel pipe per minute, but I don't know for sure. So let's take a chat break real quick. Would it be possible to use a time-lapse mod so the shot stays still, then you're still able to do stuff at the same time? So there is, or was, and I've tried this before, it has never worked because anytime the game updates, mods break and then stuff gets reset, and it made me really mad. But Update 4, when I did the Thousand Islands playthrough, I had a time-lapse camera mod that I set up way high up on the map. And I was going to take a screenshot, I think it's like every 12 hours in-game. And then my editing software has a function that'll take all of the all these pictures. It'll make a sequence out of them at whatever duration per image you desire. And I went to go set it up when I had finished that playthrough. And it needed the files named a specific way. And there were 1,600 of them. I was not about to do that manually. So here's where, I guess I can walk and talk. Here's where stuff went really bad really fast. Is I remembered just enough from my very rudimentary CS classes I took in college that I could write a batch file to bulk rename stuff, and it would be possible to just have all of those, based on creation date, assigned a 4-digit number from 0001 all the way up to whatever it would have been. So I did that. But somehow, in the process of doing that, I ended up doing a pair of operations on that, and it renamed half of them I think it was due to the way Windows reads file names, because I didn't have it do leading zeros. So you had like screenshot 1 would show up like intermixed in between like screenshot 99 and 100. It was some stupid thing. So then I said, okay, well, I'll just rename it again. But then I forgot that because I've already renamed them based on file creation date, which then turns into file modified date, it just completely screwed up the thing. Like, you know what, this would take me an entire week to undo by hand, and I'm just not going to do it. It was horrible. I was so mad. And there were a couple of people that kept asking about it for like months. Like, dude, no, I cannot fix this. Check the screws. I think you're syncing the storage. Yes, I am. Not for long. Time-lapse mod isn't working in update 7. Good, because that would absolutely be something I would try, and then I'd get mad when it didn't work. I think there are a lot of people who don't understand second screen content. You got that right. Comes into conflict with their consumption habits. So yeah, like, you're never going to make me mad if you say that my videos are second screen content, or, oh, I put your stuff on to go to sleep. I don't care. I make the stuff, and if you want to watch it, great. If you don't want to watch it, that's fine too. If you want to put it on for your cat while you're out, whatever you want, dude. I don't care. It really does not bother me. If it is useful or helpful, or, you know, gives you something to do so you don't feel like you're alone while you're working on whatever, then hey, that is fantastic. I'm always going to be okay with that. But obviously not everybody feels the same way. That's making 20 steel pipes per minute. This is making 20 per minute. This is making steel beams. So I'm only making 40 steel pipes per minute. That is it's a little bit of a problem, because I can't really increase production here unless I use summer sloops, because this has been very carefully metered from the output of all of these. And I need to have steel beams. And these are already making steel beams for the purpose of going into industrial beams. It's making 30 per minute. And this is making 15 because it has to. Yeah, see, that is... Unfortunately... Wait, those are combining there. Okay, so if I only want to make 15... now I have to see what's actually making stuff out of beams. If I want to change this to steel pipe, it's going to use fewer steel ingots, and it will make me exactly the amount of steel pipes I need to keep production neutral. But then I will have a single... I will have a single extra steel ingot. However, comma, I can do one of these things to where this uses... let's just try 133. 0.333. So now I'm making 66.667 steel pipes. It is just, unfortunately, a side effect of that I now only have 15 steel beams per minute being made, and I'm not going to be able to boost this unless I put summer sloops in it. So, now the really fun part is that I get to redo this, but fortunately, this is set up in a way that is not going to make this incredibly difficult. I just have to have this set in that like so, and that'll come out. It's fine. It's ugly, but it's going to be okay. Ah, but now these have to be... Oh, God. See, now I did it. These have to be Mark II, because it's more than 60... Okay, I'm just going to make it Mark III. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. But that is going to be kind of an expensive process to get this all converted. I just have to make sure we get all the way up to Mark III everywhere we go, and I don't know where this actually changes. Oh, were these already Mark III? They were. Okay. So as long as I unstuck everything, I guess that's fine. So if that changes from Mark III, we do have to upgrade, but I think it's okay. Yeah, see, now this is spaced out again. That'll work. Okay, so now we have this coming out of here. This will need to be Mark III when we come over here to feed everything else, because I do not want to use all the Mark II stuff. It just ends up being... Oh, that's the wrong button. There we go. No, I don't want curve mode. I want... There. That can go there. I really picked a bad time to try to, you know, read chat messages while doing this, because my brain is just like, no, you can't do this. It's not going to work. Alright, well, this is all going to go away anyway, so that's fine. Alright, we've secured steel pipes. Wire at 160 should not be a problem. That's very easy to fix, and I'm pretty sure we already have that. Okay. Wonder if there's a mod that just turns the game into a zoo simulator, like Satisfactory? Maybe? But to be honest, it kind of is already, because we have our lizard doggos over there. I need to make a nicer enclosure for them, but if we can bring a couple more over, we'll have a party. And then you got the giant giraffe, penguin, space whale, tick thing. And then you have, let's see, where's the giant manta ray? I don't see it. I hear it. There it is, going through the archway there. All these different animals all over the map. You can even see desired paths in the terrain. Yeah, they did a really good job hand-making this map. Or at least that's what I was led to believe, was that it was all completely handmade. I could be wrong, but... Can never play a game like this. It's so complex. It is complex. I barely manage most of the time. Oh, I absolutely do not have an IQ of 250. I was tested as a child. It was not that high. I actually don't remember what it was, but I can promise you it was not 250. Might not have even been half that. Can we ride the animals? You can, actually. And I've done this in previous playthroughs. I don't know where the giant manta ray thing went, but you can ride on top of it. It is... the flight path is not as high as the build limit, so you can build a tower or stairs or whatever and get up there. You can ride that thing. It goes in a figure 8 on the map. I think it goes like I don't know, kind of like that. But you can ride it around. But it's I think going to be a while before I can actually get to the point where we can do that. All right, so I need to make my assemblers for the stators. So I'm going to have this set up. Let's just try here. Because I need space for the other stuff to come in, and I also need space to make manifolds on this side. I may have put myself in a slightly disadvantageous position doing this way, but maybe... Okay, this might work. This might be fine. So I know this is ugly, but now everything's lined up, and I have some space over here to get those around. That should be fine. Would riding it allow you to show parts of the map without actually exploring? If you haven't been there and you go there, it doesn't matter how you get there. It's going to unlock it. But yeah, if we felt so inclined, we could do that. It'll go through the buildings? Yes, it will. And I've seen people make factories with the little cutouts specifically for that thing to fly through. But if you have stuff there, it'll just fly through. It doesn't clip. Like, you can ride the thing, and it'll be fine, but the thing itself does not stop if there's a building in the way, if that makes sense. Exploring is exploring. Yes, it is. All right, now I have to make conveyor mergers for all of this mess, and I think... See, I don't... Ooh. Now here's an idea. How close is this? That's tolerable. It'll link up just fine if we have our conveyor mergers here for that. And then that can just come in here. These need to be set for... Oh, it copied this with the recipe, and I forgot it did that. Okay, well, these need to be stators. And of course, these are not going to produce that quickly. This is only making 5 per minute because it, you know, only makes 5 per minute. But that is going to allow us to have just regular Mark 1 conveyors. If we just put this on straight mode, that goes there. This will be a grand total of 10 coming out of that one. Coming out of this one will be a total of 15. And then coming out here will be a total of 20, which will allow us... See, this is where this is going to get kind of difficult. But I think I can make it work. We have vertical splitters now. Let's not forget that. I can put it on these conveyor lifts, but I don't think I want to mess with that too much. This will be where the stators go. Just have to have this go up. Feed right into that. And then from here, I will have to have this go over that way with a splitter, which I wish I could get a little bit closer, but it's fine, I suppose. I don't need to lose too much sleep over this. Although, ooh, you know what? That has, that's given me the idea that maybe these will play nice meshing with all of the stuff here. You know what? That's going to be close enough. I think that's fine. So this goes into here. What kind of spaghetti? What? Stop it. Get some help. That almost works. And I think, depending on how this wants to play ball here, I may be able to get that to, yeah, straight mode doesn't want a straight mode. But that works. I will take this pole out because that's just going to make it easier later. So that's going... No, I don't want to quap in the search bar. That's going to get our stators in there. And then I just have to bring in the rotors into the other ones. And that will not have to be elevated. I just had that go up because it's lined up nicely. Okay. Here to lurk. Is this where you sign up? Yep, you're in the right spot. Have you played Trailmakers? I have not. At risk of saying I'm going to check out another game and then I don't, and then people get irritated, I will add it to the list. Thank you, YouTube, for emailing me that I am, in fact, live. What kind of... Oh, hold on, I got to tab out of this. What kind of game is that? Did we just lose audio? We absolutely did. Okay. Get back in a second. Okay. Now let's get this hooked up. Each of these, again, is only making 4 per minute, so it's not going to be a big deal at all. All we've got to do is just make sure our output is in the right spot. And I guess if we want to have space down the middle, this is going to work out great. Yeah, it should be fine. And then, because of the way this is positioned, we can just turn that 90 degrees, and that will go perfectly straight past here. No problems. See, sometimes I can design stuff that kind of looks okay. Okay, straight there, straight there, straight there, there. That's not the right one. And then we have to come in through here, which, if this is still in straight mode, all I've got to do is do that. And then I pop in right here with a splitter. Make sure that lines up as best as it can. It's not going to be perfect, but I think that will be okay. It's not going to let me go through this, huh? But now we are belted correctly for the outputs. We just have to have stuff to go in, which is always the fun part, right? So each of these machines wants 100 screws per minute. We need 500 coming out of here. We've already determined that is possible. But we also need to have 100 iron rods per minute, which we do not have. And will never have, the way things are currently set up. So, now we have to find more iron ore. Those are, okay, 370 meters is going to be the closest one all the way over there. That's rough. Well, if it's a regular purity, is it going to tell me? Impure, of course it is. Okay, that's, we got a lot of these over here we haven't used, though. So I guess I shouldn't be upset about that. All right, well, it is what it is. Oh, I can't do this from inside the map. Let's run that again and take a look at the map while it's running. Because if there's one that's elsewhere besides this, we might want to go into it. There's so much impure iron. My God, I need to just make a scrap iron thing over here. Wait, temp. Oh, that's a deposit on the ground. Yeah, there's no iron anywhere else. Okay, well, more or less due west, I guess, is going to be our thing here. The problem with the impure iron nodes is that a Mark 1 miner will only get 30 per minute out of it. And our recipes, if you remember how any of this works. I can't build one of these. I'm pretty sure that's not going to be enough unless I have Mark 2 miners, which have to have... Oh, I've got the stuff for those. I just need to make pocket miners, portable miners, digital miners, whatever they're called. Actually, we can take a look over here because I think these are impure that we're running, and I know those are Mark II miners. Okay, yep. So, and this isn't being fully utilized here, but I'm not going to bring this over because I know this was already set up to do stuff, even if it's not completely perfect. So, each of these are taking out 60. Going in here, 30 iron ore per minute, 1-to-1 gives us iron ingots. So, if we have 2 impure with Mark II miners, that gives us 120 per minute, which will give us 120 ingots per minute, which one of these... No, these are all... They're all making plates. All right. I think it's just 1-to-1. It should be. I don't dare change it while it's in production, but I'm pretty sure that should work. So since I'm on the attempting to commit math list, let's come over here and see exactly how much of this we're making. So I know some of these are going into cables. Okay, 30 per minute. This should be another 30. That's 60. 90. That's 120. And then this bit coming from here is going to make cables. So we are making enough. Kind of. If we just, you know, boost a couple of these guys. Because I know we have enough coming out of here. We've got 60 ore coming out of the ground. If I boost this, which I absolutely can, then I can boost downstream and we'll get to 160. That's not going to be a problem. But I can't think if I'm sitting next to loud machines. So let's come over here, say hi to the doggos, see if they got anything. You don't want to talk to me, huh? Oh, there you go. 30 wire. I do need that. Thank you. And rifle ammo. I need to make a rifle. That'd be very useful. All right. So let's do maybe ill-advisable things and just boost all of this. Because I don't want to make another wire factory just for this. All right, so that's 60. I've got power shards. If this goes to 120... then I will have to upgrade... Oh, this is ugly. I'll have to upgrade all of this. That is going to go from 4 megawatts to, like, I don't know, 15 or something crazy like that. But why else would I be hunting all these slugs if I didn't want to, you know, super boost all of my output for everything? If this crashes the power grid, then I will eat my humble pie and just make another factory. But I think we have the headroom. So this should give us 240 output by the time I'm done with all this nonsense, which I now am. And that should allow us to take care of everything here. We just need to upgrade all of our outputs, because now these are going to be making... Oh, no. No, the Mark 1s are fine. It's just going to be the intermediaries that have to get upgraded. All right. Mark 2 there. This now has to be a Mark 3. And then the rest of this could just be Mark 3. That's going to be fine there. All right. And this is already a Mark 3 for the sake of speed, I think. Yeah, that looks like Mark 3. All right. Problem solved. One thing at a time. Now we come back over here and we make some portable miners. I will need 4, I think, to do what we're doing. There. Now we have 4 portable miners. They didn't used to stack, so I'm glad they do that now. Okay. 2 Mark II miners. And then from that, I don't want to overclock everything. So I think I will need to have 4 smelters. And then from there, I will have to have... I'm going to plan for 8 constructors, I'm pretty sure. So we will just need to grab a couple more things here. Let's grab a whole bunch of wire. Could have just grabbed a whole stack. You know how this goes. And now I should have all of my materials to build that whole mess, plus concrete and all that. Wire, cable, whatever is going to probably be fine with the stack of 200. But I will need to make power poles, and most of that's up in the things I can't see. Dimensional depots. I did exit the email client today, so you will not be hearing from them. No, you probably didn't miss much. I was trying to do math for the past, like, how long have I been going? 43 minutes? Oh, it's dropping frames again? Man, what is up with this thing? Alright, hold on. Let me get to where I can actually see. I think YouTube just really doesn't want me to play Satisfactory. I think that's what this is. Because it says it's not receiving enough video. And it drops frames every so often. It says I've dropped 5.7% of the frames that were... Okay, now it's going again. Man, is this going to finally be what forces me to crawl around in the attic when it's 140 degrees and run an Ethernet cable to the basement? This is bad. It's rough, dude. Man, I don't want to have to stop stream for this. Well, is what it is. Let's just go do what we gotta do, I guess. I really don't think YouTube wants me to play. I think YouTube wants to punish me. Have I gotten trains yet? Yeah, I've got trains. That one goes over to our oil area, which, you know what? Next time it comes up, let's ride it. And then I've got some stuff to blow up over there. Pretty sure. Oh, there it is. There it is. Perfect timing. And because it's nighttime, you get to see our wonderful, completely perfect, absolutely nothing wrong with it, don't look too closely, modular design for our train railway. I'm probably on... I think I'm on 5 gigahertz. I'm not sure. I am kind of unreasonably proud of the color of the lights here. I know, we spent like an entire stream trying to figure it out. But I really do like this. I'm glad you like that. It looks cool. With the streetlights and everything. I'm substantially less proud of this curve here. But I've been told there's better ways to do it, and if I ever redo it... Yeah, pay no attention to this either. I've been told there's better ways to do it if I ever come back and change how stuff is set up. So, now we are over in Oil Land, which is where all of this mess is being made, going into the dimensional depots. And there is extra stuff we aren't using, because I just haven't come back and, fixed anything. But, we do have, somewhere, some stuff that can be blown up. Unless I am... Aha, there it is. I'm pretty sure this is just rocks we can harvest. Yeah, that's limestone. Yeah, we got these guys. That's bad news. But that should be summer sloops, and I need those. So, what I need is the stun rebar. So I have a fighting chance of actually defeating these guys in single combat. So I can't... they won't respawn after I kill them. Because they have... Oh, son of a... He wasn't stunned that long. Come on. I refuse to die over here. Where are you going, dude? Get back here. Alright. So that's done. I think these machines are too close for these guys to respawn after I kill them. But I do still have to kill them. Get back here. Okay, anybody else? Okay, there is somebody else. Alright, now where is this carcass I can harvest for profit? I don't see it. Oh, never mind. He's not dead. I just... Okay. Alright. I think that's everybody. And now it's time to use our bombs.
Helping meant leaving it.
Our blood will eat, build, teach.
I have no use for blood.
You do. Consume.
Interesting.
Okay, that I don't need to blow anything up. We can leave that alone. Hello, frog. Yeah, I'd rather not play on peaceful, passive, whatever the game calls that. It is, like, kind of fun to fight these things. I just don't like dying. That's annoying. Okay, this crash site I'm pretty sure we have already dealt with. But I've been informed that in 1.1 we can actually disassemble... Oh, look at these guys. They're bad news. So maybe I haven't dealt with this yet. Okay. I wanted that to be closer to one of those other explodey dudes. Because I don't want to fight these guys one-on-one. That will not go well. That was not even close enough. Not even a tiny bit. What's good, dude? Oh, okay. Whoa, okay, you're durable. This is bad news. This is very bad news. Alright. So like I can dodge physical attacks okay, but I absolutely cannot do like flying stuff. It made me extremely mad, yes. The problem is I have nowhere to like hide from these guys. Can you make weapons or a big cannon? You can make a rifle that I have never actually made, which is probably what I should be using for this, but you know how this goes. I really don't need to be going over there doing this. I feel like I need to, since I'm already here, I need to do something with it, but I digress. This hasn't been marked as collected, so you know what? That's actually a good thing for us to be messing with. I will make a thing of foundations, so I can just kind of walk my way over there. I don't think there's a railgun, no. I would absolutely hate if they made additional mobs. No, no, don't fire at me. Walk this way. Come over here. Come over here. It's going to be fun, I promise you. Oh my god, does this thing ever stop hucking things out of its mouth? Jeez. Okay, one of these days this thing's going to have to just explode. Okay, that one's dead. Is that going to send that one into a fiery rage? Alright, come over here. Come on. You know you want to. That was a terrible throw. Why don't you play Call of Duty? Absolutely not. Never. This would be horrible. This thing will not stop shooting fireballs at me. Alright. There we go. Finally. Get out of here. Okay. Case industrial beams. Computers. Packaged fuel. Don't really care too much about that, but hey, I don't even have to put anything in here. Cool. And there's a hard drive. We'll scan that later. What other garbage is on the ground? More encased industrial beams. Rubber. Anything else? Sometimes they're kind of hidden back over here. That's not something that needs to die. That is something that needs to die, but not right now. Oh, and I get materials back. Oh, boy. Okay, this is the best. This is such a good addition to this game. Now I don't have to worry about it. Alright. Any other just random garbage? No? Okay. Cool. That was worthwhile. Because now we got... Look at all this stuff. Yeah, but I haven't researched the rifle yet, so it's kind of pointless. We will at some point. Anyway, now I can go back. I can either take the hypertube slowly, or I can wait for the train to come back, which the train is right here. So once this loads up all the junk that takes back to the other base, then we'll be on our way. I mean, you can speed up hypertubes if you have multiple entrances stacked in front of each other, which is what I do have on the other end. I just don't have it on this end. Unless they fixed the physics of that. Yeah, this game takes a lot of time. I have, I don't know, 400 and some hours in this, and 2/3 of that was from before I started doing YouTube during 2020. Well, I was doing YouTube then, but it was not this game. And now we are back, which means we can get off the train and make our way over to where our new iron rod factory is going to be. So there's a reason why I left these things kind of blank here. It's so that I can keep adding additional stuff. Let me make sure exactly where I can put this. I might not be able to without putting another set of... Yeah, okay. But that'll get me all the way up there, at the very least. Or I could stack on top of this. I can't really fit underneath unless I went on the ground level. I'll just do it on the ground. That's probably easier. Alright, here's a whole bunch of iron. Here's 2 right here at the top. And this already has portable miners on it. I guess I should have checked, but... Ah, yes, the mewing. That means spiders are nearby. So this is our quick wire. Caterium is all the way down there. Oh, I have to pick these up, of course. Okay. So, now I just need to make a very simple factory. Why do I hear spiders? They must be down there. Oh, that's ugly. I forgot how ugly that was. So if I have a 4-meter foundation here, snap to that, I think I'm going to want to have... Let's try the 2-meter down at the bottom of that. If that will still allow me to have the machines snap to what we have going on here, then I think that's going to be what we're supposed to be doing. Let me just try to build Mark II miner, and that will snap. Good. Just need a little bit more space on this side. I'll have to go one more row here to make this building actually make sense. Okay, so we have to have 2 miners. Players in the way. We have to have 2 miners, and then we have to have everything go into smelters, so this is going to be probably a multi-story building. That will go there. If I have this come this way, that can meet here and then do what it's got to do, and then I guess at some point maybe come out this side. Yeah, this is about as good as I can do. If I just have this removed, I could enclose this. It might actually look kind of nice. Yeah. Or I could just have this all be one level, but I think it's going to run into terrain, and yeah, I don't really love that. Okay, so this is now 60. I could also put power shards in it. Train shot looks like background for a lo-fi track. Yeah, I could buy it. Yeah, that's a good video. The game devs react to Let's Game It Out playing Satisfactory. And it's really funny because apparently, I mean, probably says this in the video. It's been a while since I've seen it, but they would use his saves to stress test the game because he did so much crazy stuff. Yeah, I really wish the miners were on the world grid. It would make things so much easier, but this doesn't look terrible at the very least. I can have the building kind of come out this way, but I don't want it to go over on top of these guys, so maybe instead I want this to go here. Okay, that's going to be a chainsaw activity. Do I have fuel for the chainsaw? Yes. Never mind. No, I don't. I don't have a single thing of... Come on, man. I don't want to look at this up through the floor. Wait, it's leaves. Never mind. I thought it was a tree. Crisis averted. I can just pluck that out of the ground. Alright, now if I take these guys out, I can rotate in another direction. So this is more advantageous. So this would go this way. And then that would go that way. Or I can just leave it where it was and not worry about it. Kind of overthinking everything. Yeah, that's I know this is exactly how it was. I know. But it's fine. Smelters, assuming it is actually 4 of those I need, will all fit right here. And we could get really close to the edge. Let's just check and see how this lines up. It's not great, but that does technically will fit there. And I know I can just do 3, but I'm pretty sure I can fit 4 of these just side to side to side to side and be fine. That gives me a little bit of space. I could maybe move this again. I just have to check and see. Yeah, so I do need 4 of those. Okay. So if we are going to do that, then I can have space around the outside. So I think that would be best to have space around the outside. Yeah, so if I pop that there, not quite enough for me to move without rebuilding that, but it'll be fine. Let's get this set to iron ingots, since we know it copies recipes. And now I have space here to walk around if I so desire. And I just have to have splitters. And that one can go this way. We know that will fit there just fine. We know that will fit there just fine. Okay, that meowing is very annoying. It is very annoying. So that has to merge, depending on how I want to have this set up here. I guess, for the sake of simplicity, I could just do that. 60. Invalid shape. Seriously? It's straight. Okay. Ah, because they're not on the world grid. That's why. Straight goes there. Straight goes here. Why does that have an output there? Did I build the wrong thing? No, that's a splitter. Alright, what? I feel like I'm nuts. Okay. What in the heck is wrong with this? Alright. Mark II belt. There we go. I don't know what the deal is with that. But Mark 1, this still has to be a Mark 2 because it's 90 and straight mode is pain mode. Are these not lined up? Is that just what this is? Or did I somehow manage to build the wrong thing in the wrong way? I don't understand what's happening with this. Splitters are not having a good day today. Okay, so this is the input. We already know that. It's just really weird behavior for this. Okay. Mark 2 goes in, and now this can be Mark 1, but I do have to have another one of these. And I think that should be fine. Yeah. And then straight mode makes it flip out, but now those are all hooked up at the very least. We haven't wired it for power, but this should give us all of our 120 ingots. And then from that point it becomes something else entirely. And I was only guessing at the constructors, so let's check our recipe. I know I probably should know it at this point, but 15 ingots. And I am making exactly enough to use 8 of these. Okay. So it's probably going to be easiest to just have these come out in a manifold, maybe this way, and then go out in a straight line. Then I'll just make the building. Oh, I got grass coming through the floor. Come on, man. I hate that. I hate that. Oh, it looks terrible. As long as the ground doesn't come through the... Alright. So, what have we learned? Check terrain heights for actually expanding your building. Second thing we've learned is that I guess I'm making a second floor just for that, or we can have it be on the same level as this mess here. That's fine. I will just have that there so it looks slightly nicer. That was not what I was supposed to do. This is how I set off nuclear explosions in my hand when I do stuff like that. Okay, so if I have this come all the way to be flat here, it can have an access that way, and then I just have this go on this second level here, and then, okay. I don't think I need to overthink this. Oh, hey. Yes, I'm attempting currently to do iron rod production, because we don't have nearly enough of those. And we have set up a very, very rudimentary motor factory all the way over here. That as soon as it has everything supplied will make 10 per minute. And if I put my summer sloops in there, it will make 20 per minute, which would be fantastic. There's our manta ray guy we can ride on at some point if we have a high enough... what do you call it? Alright, so I'm going to have that go there. And then I suppose... Well, it uses the same amount of materials anyway, so it doesn't matter, but for the sake of things matching, have that go up that way. Just have a little bit of space here that can have that go up. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Constructors, if I cram them in... Actually, no. They need more space than that. Okay. Well, in that case... Yeah, this would look dumb if I brought it up any more than that, but... If I take a 4 meter here... Go 5... And then I go 5 over here. I think I can have a manifold, but I'm going to have to, yeah, I'm going to have this go one more, which does mean that tree needs to go away. But it'll make this look a lot nicer. And all I've got to do is have this set Maybe not quite there. Just, yeah, something like that. Bring that over that way. I have space behind and in front here. That should be fine. Set this to iron rods. And then we'll copy pasta ourselves. The machines do kind of intermesh with each other. It looks pretty good. If you have them next to the wall, like right next to the wall, it phases through and it looks stupid, so that is why I did not do that. And that should work just fine. Again, just need to move the other mess there. Ah, I don't have enough rotors to make any more of these. And the whole reason I don't have enough rotors is because I didn't have enough things making this in the first place. Alright, great. Good to know. It's time to make a crafting bench. So now I have to make my own rotors again. How in the world did you make a gun out of sewing supplies? Oh my god. How did I not see that coming? It worked great, but had a hairpin trigger. What's the product flow? This is going to, once it's complete, put out 120 iron rods per minute. 15 ingots in, 15 rods out, times 8. Ah, I need one more summer sloop to double both of those machines. All right, we'll take a look. Do I have... Wait a minute. I didn't need rotors to make constructors. I needed rotors to make assemblers. How did I... Okay, whatever. The game seems bent on making me look like an idiot at all times. Is that in the middle? Yeah, okay. It is really hard to see this other line from... There we go. And one more here. Cool. So then the output can come up here. Is that centered? Okay, it looks like it is. So that's going to need to have mergers. We'll get this wired up in a little bit. See, these don't... They're not equal distance. Oh man, I hate it when this happens. Like, I knew something was slightly off, but it wasn't off enough for me to notice. Okay. Yeah, I think the problem was it was shifted just a tiny bit back. Because that is like dead on centered. This is dead on centered. I don't know how it got off, but it did. There. Alright, so these are 15 each. So that'll be 30 coming through here. This will be 60 coming through here, which means that can go in that way. And then coming out of this is going to have to be Mark II, and then coming out of that's going to have to be Mark II, but I'm thinking it's going to end up being Mark III all the way down. But now, because of how this has been constructed and enabled, I can do walls here, and then I can just stick a conveyor hole wherever I want without having to have stuff line up perfectly. And that is tremendous. So that's Mark II. That is not how that should have been going. I need this to be... is that going to be the correct spot? Yes. Cool. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Give me that Mark II belt there. Alright, so that's output sorted. Assuming this recipe is the same, and it is. Now we need input, which this is maybe going to look kind of stupid here. But we have manifold coming this way, then it's going to go around here. Don't connect to that. I need to remove the tree. which means I need to make biofuel, which means I should have done this earlier, but I should have stuff to make solid biomass. I only need a little bit. But now, it's chainsaw time. Why can I not get at this? There we go. Am I trying for a compact build? Super compact, no, but I don't want it to be completely stupid either. So that's why that is set that way. Yeah, those new tree felling animations are kind of cool. Yeah. Absolutely zero tolerance for trees or grass or anything being in the way. That is a life-ruining revelation there. Is that going to be... Yeah. Okay, splitter there. At risk of having to do this again when the splitters suddenly decide they don't want to, you know, do anything. See, now it doesn't... Now it doesn't want to play nice with me sticking those here. It's acting like that's in a different spot. Oh, these are moved over. Okay. Man, what? What am I on? Like, what? Those were placed incorrectly. No wonder this didn't work. That is very annoying. It's like the third time I got this wrong. And that other one's backwards. We're going to have to go fix this. Okay. So now I'm pretty sure I don't have to do this, but it's going to help me feel a whole lot better if I know for sure that it's taken care of. Alright, now I have a lot less room to work with back here, but I think I can get this to work. Okay. So we're going in here. If I have the wall actually built, it won't go through it. I also don't need that on the very end. Yeah, we'll just roll with this. So that's going to be 30. I really only have to have... No, I don't have to have any... This is all going to be 60. How do I always forget this? Okay. That just has to come back around that side. That'll be fine. This is going to end up being split in a bunch of spots, but... As long as I can just get this in place and not worry about it, that's fine there. That there, and then one more right about here. That's all the way to the outside? Sure is. Okay. So that's 60 all the way over here. Put it in straight mode, and it's angry because I'm in the way, but now it fits. So that should be perfect right there, and then this can just be the same kind of deal. Take it off as straight mode because it gets mad. And then this straight mode also gets mad, but that's fine. Alright, so now that is all of the output put in. I need to have this manifolded out, which needs to be mergers. And this can have output facing this way, which I think... it's going to end up looking better that way, hopefully. Alright, so this is going to be 30 coming out of here. Put this on straight mode. Yep. That's 60. this would be 90 coming out, which needs that. And then this is 120, which, since I do have capacity for that, I might as well. Ah, see, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna play nice. We're gonna have to manually do this. But straight coming out to here, obviously, it's not gonna want to do that. So I will come out to, I guess, here. See if this wants to play nice. Now, see, that's not gonna work. But I think I can get this to go to here. And then if I take this onto default mode, it should be more or less perfectly straight here, except it just goes up. Not the most beautiful thing I've ever made, but it does work. Alright, so now everything has been hooked up mechanically. It just needs to be powered, which is where my Mark II power poles come in. A lift from the foundation up shouldn't snap to the little thing, right? Well, I'll tell you what. I'll give it a shot, because it sure would look a whole lot nicer if it did. I just have to make sure it's lined up correctly. Yeah, see, it doesn't snap that short. So now I have to decide if I'm going to have this whole thing be walls or windows or what. I do have, I guess, probably some of the materials I need for this. I don't have everything, and I guess at some point I could come back and actually, you know, set this up right. But in the interest of actually getting this accomplished, I think I'm just going to put in a couple of power poles. Maybe, right here in the middle. And get these just hooked straight up. Yep, that works right there. Should be fine. Grab the Mark II power pole over here. There it is. I think I had that there. Yeah. Then those will connect to each other. Alright. And now this just has to connect to other stuff. Try to keep this as... Why can't I not just land on the top of this thing? Come on. There we go. Power for those goes behind. So that's how that's going to go. And then these have to get connected. That's at the very top. I guess I can have that go right there. I do generally think these look best when connected to the ceiling. But seeing how this is set up, I don't think that's going to have a ceiling anytime soon. Satisfactory 2. Satisfactory harder. If I put this right here in exactly the middle, how will that connect through there? That's no good. Let's move that to be here. And then that will still goes... Okay, you know what? I don't care. I don't care. It's fine. So that will connect there. This will connect... No, it won't. That looks awful. Okay. New plan. Figure out something else to do. See, this... I'm pretty sure... Yeah, that'll connect fine. That doesn't look terrible. But this being on that side is not going to be... Oh, I could also just do that. Okay, so that would give me... As long as it goes out to a decent spot. Right here is not really a great one, but it does connect, and it does work. So now that just has to be powered with that mess, which is over there and probably should have been done in a different manner. But if we want this to just work, I can have this come out this way. It won't be too much of a pain in the butt. But I will try to make this, at the very least, not look completely stupid. And I'll just do that. So now these should all come online because it's connected to power. Hopefully we don't trip any breakers. I don't think these are very big power-hungry machines because none of them are overclocked. It just will take a little bit of time for them to get everything through here. Okay, so I'm going to have 120 coming out here, which is going to need to have some way of getting onto our belts, which will be Mark 3s. Straight mode is not going to like that. Curve mode actually doesn't look too bad. So now this just has to go all the way out here. When we get out to this main line here, it's going to have to make room for whatever else is going to come in from the other direction. Why is it still in curve mode? Get out of here. Default. I hope those other things back there didn't look terrible, because now I do not want to go back and change those. Alright, so that's there. That's there. And then when we get to a certain point, this will have to go down, and I think that point is right here. So now that will come to... that's fine. But now I don't have to have one of these every single thing. I just have to make it so it fits. That doesn't look great. Oh, these aren't completely... No, they're not. Okay. Look at that. It's like... It's slightly off. It is very slightly off. Well, life goes on. How did that not... Okay. Hey, look, we have iron rods following us up here. How about that? Yeah, so now I have iron rods come all the way to here. And I'm going to need to have 120 of them, or not 120, 100 of them come over behind this, which means we'll have 20 extra. So that's going to be... I guess it'll just have to wait for this to back up and overflow. And then the screws come in from that side. These haven't been hooked up for power or anything either. So that's already there. So this here with the screws definitely can go away. I don't really have enough inventory to get rid of all of this. But I can take that out. That doesn't need to be here. So that means all of these iron rods, all, what, 30 of them, are going to go over there, which is where they should have been going this whole time. And this is not going to be enough. No, it's not going to be enough. Well, that's fine. I still have a ton of stuff to figure out. I probably should have made that Mark 4s, but oh well. Now I'm dropping frames again. Hopefully it's not too bad. Okay. Now we have to build ourselves a doohickey for this. I think it's going to be better for us to have the screws come in from the top. And per machine is 100, so these are going to have to be Mark IIs. So I will just get that set up in advance. And that way the Mark Is for each of these things, taking 20 per minute, can go in just fine. We will need splitters where they're not going to intersect with all of that mess, and I think that is going to be the easiest way to do it. I'm not going to need... I don't know why I do this. I'm not going to need another splitter over here. But I will need them up on top. You know what? I'll do that when I get to it. Don't need to complicate things. Okay, that goes there. That goes there. And then this one goes right here. Alright, so this is going to have 120 coming in, but it really only needs to be 100. So that just has to go that way. 100 minus 20 is still 80, so that is unfortunately going to have to be Mark IIs. We'll do that later. But then it'll be 60 coming from here after this. And that will make this just a tiny bit simpler. Put this in straight mode. Just for that. That works. And now I get to do Mark II coming from here to here. And then this going around the outside also gets to be Mark IIs. And I don't want it to be Mark IIIs. Actually, I guess it doesn't really matter. Straight mode. All the way across. To... Conveyor belt is too long. Yeah, sure, thanks. So if this is going to have overflow go somewhere, you know what? Where is the, where's the rest of those other ones going? What level is that on? Is that the top level or is it the middle? Okay, this is not going to be easy to merge into. I don't think I want to. But if I had that go away, I could probably weave this in, but that should go on top. Okay, I'm just massively overthinking it at this point, and I guess I can get by just having this be a splitter for now. And have that hook up to what it needs to hook up to, but this definitely can be a Mark II. And I know that's not hooked up because it's not hooked up. I know. Just absolutely life-changing revelations being made here. Okay, that can go straight into here, and that'll give me all of my iron rods to pop into here. I should preload with what I have, so I don't have to have multiple stacks. That's going to be fine there. Alright. That's 1 out of 4 ingredients down. Now I just need to have the screws, and those are coming in from this other side here. Which means I can probably... Yeah, see, just in time now we have less than 100 of these left to make. The time that I spent actually building this factory, we could have just left it alone. And this does have summer sloops in it. I guess I can just leave this alone for now, but it's waiting on other stuff I can't give it. Okay, so these need to come in that way. That won't be too hard. This is an absolute disaster right here. But that can be fixed at a later point in time. Now I have to have some way of getting this mess and this mess completely aligned here. Okay. So those go away. That goes up. That goes up. And these both need to have splitters and then come over the tracks here. I'm not going to try to go underneath because that just makes a huge mess. It's nice to be able to walk underneath stuff. So if that's what we're doing, then I can actually completely reconstruct all of this. Take that away from there. I already know that's underneath. I'm not going to reroute that. That's fine. But take that to go... Okay, 2 more. Yeah, because that's going to be... That's going to be everything left from what goes over the top here. Just trying to do this without a hover pack is probably a mistake, but... Alright, so that's our overflow for this little bit. These guys can both go up. Probably 2. So that will make this look slightly better. So that's a Mark 3. That really should be a Mark 4. I should absolutely upgrade all of these. Really should have done that to begin with, but maybe I didn't have enough. That might have been why. Either that or I balanced these in some stupid way that no longer has a reason for existing. Okay. Yeah, I did end up doing some balancing here, but I don't think it's going to matter. Yeah, because I had these 2, and then I had that... No, it doesn't. Alright, we're moving on. Yeah, a lot of stuff with history has been embellished, and you have to be careful where you get your information from. And never, ever, 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 ever get it from an AI. They have no clue what they're talking about. Well, this actually looks kind of cool with the curve here. Alright, so we have Mark 4s. Each of these is capable of doing 480 per minute. We're only making 600. And we only need 500. But 500 is still more than 480, so we do have to have 2 lines of this going. And because these are load balanced, I think I want the primary one to be the closest one, because this is setting its extras onto this line. So it'll use all of this. And then it'll only be 480. I don't know. Now I have to think about this. Well, I wouldn't say most history is fake. It's just, you know, whoever writes the book is who won or who lived, who survived. You get your information from multiple sources and you corroborate it against, you know, actual hard evidence, then you're probably going to get pretty close. But the dangerous thing when you get AI involved is AI is designed to be a yes man, so it's going to tell you what you want to hear, even if that's not actually true. So you got to be careful with that. Okay, that doesn't need to be... Oh, now I'm dropping frames again. Perfect. Let's just bring this across to, I think, right about here. So that goes up 4. That takes me over the top of the plastic nonsense for the most part. It might be kind of weird, but... see, that connects to here, which means that's going to have a... Oh, it got stuck. Alright, let's just do this one step at a time, so my brain doesn't completely explode. Alright. Oh, that looks so terrible. Oh, that's awful. I gotta fix that. But that's because I have plastic going that way. I can probably just raise it, maybe? I don't know. But regardless, screws, some quantity of them, need to go over here, and I have to have this 480 go all the way back there, and then I'm going to have... Jeez. Why did I do this to myself? The world may never know. But now I have an opportunity to stack these. Or try to, at least. Because now... Oh, because I belted this. It's not going to want to play nice with me here. Let's just take a second. Go all the way back. Oh! I forgot. That actually snaps now. Is it... Oh, that's way too close. That's not going to work. Not going to work. I love Satisfactory so much. It's a flawless game with absolutely no exploits. Okay. So that is now the correct height. It's still 100, which means the output here has to be a Mark II. Straight mode is flipping out, so I will have to do that, which does not look good, and that is... Well. It's fine. It is what it is. The rest of this will look okay. That, at the very least, can go back that way. Yeah, I need that to go there. Okay. Yeah, I'll just take this whole thing out so I don't have to worry about it. Alright, now conveyor splitters. Matching over here. Go that way. Yeah, let's just build all these first. Okay. One more here. Okay. So this is going to be interesting because the highest belt I have is 480 and I need a total of 500, which means I probably shouldn't even have this set as a splitter. I probably should just have this set... You know what? Yeah, let's do that. Ground level coming in as overflow, but the rest of this absolutely has to be what it has to be. All right, so that straight bit comes in there. This goes back in there. That's already set. All right. I said I needed Mark IIs, and then I didn't hook anything else up. So that has to be Mark II. That has to be Mark II. That has to be Mark II. Okay. So 480... Theoretically, I only need 400 coming in, but I still have to have a Mark IV between these two. And then it's still going into... What the heck is this? That's not where that was supposed to go. I needed that to go... Come on. I needed this to go here to here. Why? Why is this not... Why is this not working? The other ones work just fine. Did I misalign it? No. Unless it's already hooked up. It must already be hooked up, but I can't see it. Well, I guess we'll have to wait. Anyway. This does have to be Mark III. And that had to be Mark IV. And that was already Mark II. Okay. So that'll take 100. This will take 100. This will take 100. This will take 100. All right. So now I just have to have the ability to actually discuss what I'm doing here. Is that tall enough? Looks like it is. All right. Mark IV. That, all the way over there, has to come through here. And then that backs up, which sends the rest onto that other line, but the one that I just upgraded to Mark IV wasn't at full capacity anyway, so it should be okay. All right. Oh, there's a whole lot of chat that happened. Hold on. Let me scroll back and see. Let's see. Yeah, definitely don't ever watch video content while operating a vehicle. Sitting at a charging station at a ferry terminal. Hey, well, that's fine. As long as you're not driving somewhere. Is the point of a conveyor belt not to split in the first place? It depends on what you're trying to do with it. Who's winning the Super Bowl? I have no idea. We're still in preseason football. Not the Falcons, though. I can promise you that. Let's see. Miami Heat. There you go. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Miami Heat's going to win the Super Bowl. Yes. Tribalism online is a huge problem. It's awful. Valid criticism or not, people just really don't like to hear somebody trash something they like. Yeah, I saw the video. That's 70-yard field goal. That's insane. Wasn't the record like 64 or something? Especially in the NFL, to hit a 70-yard field goal. Because to get over, to get over the blockers, it'd have to be high enough to make 70. It would have to be high enough to be good from like 80. Which that one looked like it would have been. I've seen videos of college kickers in practice hit like 70, 75 yarders. Like really, really good guys. But you're not going to hit that in a game. Yeah, I've seen like the guys who come over from Australia and do like the rugby style punting. Don't really make great kickers all the time, but they can get some crazy distance on punts. But 70 yards as a field goal kicker is completely insane. Any level in the game was 68. Okay. That is wild. It's absolute lunacy. And that was their rookie guy, too. Pull up F and see if there's an accordion. Oh, okay, that's what you're talking about. I was trying to figure out. So this doesn't actually show me whatever is inside of it, so I guess we're going to have to just see. But yeah, it does have the accordion in the splitter. It just doesn't have a separate conveyor belt. Yeah, kicking, I think, is probably my favorite part of football. Because in a vacuum, it really doesn't make any sense, right? Because like the whole rest of the game, well, forever was always just about hand the guy the ball and have him run through the line and go score a touchdown. Like, okay, but what if we kicked it? Could we get half credit? Like, okay, sure, fine, whatever. I know Canadian rules football is different on that, and you can get points on. I think there's like a way to get points on a failed kick. I haven't kept up with Canadian football very much, but there's some pretty crazy scenarios. Like if you want to be a rules lawyer that you can get into with kicking. Let's see. I know there's an exploit in high school rules in some areas to where you can technically score points with a punt if you set it up a certain way. There's some sort of weird thing, like rule exceptions somebody took advantage of to win some important game somewhere. I wish I could remember what school it was. Then I go find the video. Do we have to x-ray the kicker's foot to make sure there's no steel implants? X-ray him and you'll see all dog. Special teams is the only teams. Yep. Do you follow that Sickos committee account on well, they're on a couple platforms, but they're on Twitter, Blue Sky, whatever. So, oh God, what was that guy's name who had like his toes amputated or something? So he had the flat front on his foot, and he had this special kicking shoe designed, and he just like booted the ever-loving crap out of the ball. I can't remember what his name was, but he something with an M, I think. But he was like the kicker for the Saints forever. Yes, American football. Keep in mind the dominant audience on my channel is still men from the U.S. between ages 25 and 44. It's not a huge majority. Tom Dempsey, well, that's where the M came from then, I guess. Yeah, it's just absolutely wild stuff. Anyway, all 480 of these will go over here. And that will back up because I'm only going to use 400 of them. So 80 of the 480 will go here, which means the total amount coming out of here being 600 minus the 400 coming through here. The total amount coming this way is going to be 200. And then the rest of that is going to go all the way over there, but I'm going to need to take 100 of that. So I need to have... Oh, this is going to be so complicated. But we'll make it work. So that has I think right through the middle. Yes. Okay. No, no, no. Don't put that. Never mind. That was actually correct. Oh, I hate that so much. It will be fixed later. No, I want the Mark IV. All right. So that goes here. This has to have, if I stand in the exact right spot, this has to have a splitter that will take everything it needs leftover-wise. So that goes here. I know it's only going to be like 100, but I'm still going to hook up Mark IV belt to it because that is going to be the easiest way to do it. So now that can continue going. But we know in the future this will only be 100 going this way, 100 going this way, and 400 going this way. Yeah, old man football is some wild stuff, dude. It's just unbelievable what some of these guys get into. Yeah, we will rebuild it later is definitely kind of the kiss of death for common sense builds. Let's have this come out best we can. Out to... Is this even the right thing? Okay. Just, I don't know why I need everything to be so straight that it becomes a problem, but this, I think I can set up for it not to be completely stupid. But it's going to take me a little bit of time. See, that, if I go straight, not going to play nice. I know this is really ugly. I'm going to ask that you tolerate it for the sake of us actually getting something accomplished. But that's going to fill all of these up. Hopefully. If we see this coming down each of these, then we'll know they're connected. And it looks like they all are. Alright, cool. Now I just have to have this other one connected. Which, that's going to be still pretty ugly. But it's fine. I think it still has to be Mark II. I think I can justify putting this in like so from there. And it still lines up kind of nice. I would like this to, you know, look slightly better. But now this can be a Mark II all the way from here down to here. Which, of course, is not going to work in straight mode. If you work in default mode, is still ugly, but it should work fine. What materials do I still need to feed into uploaders? Well, I've been trying to only do finished products, but I've not done... I wasn't making enough rotors or stators for that to be a thing. So I only just have this stuff. Basically, anything that is in one of those big tower storages that we have over there is uploaded, plus the plastics, plus the rubber, plus the packaged fuel. And then the stuff at the bottom I uploaded myself from my inventory because I do have that ability now. Alright, so it's ugly, but it works. And now I have the ability to start making rotors at the very least. And it should balance out. That's all going there. And then the extra bits are being sunk, but there shouldn't be that much extra. Have fun. Thanks for hanging out. I'm a Jags fan. I think it's hilarious. Late game down less than 3. The kicker goes to the QB and says, get to our own 40. I'll do the rest. Yeah, NFL kickers are something else, man. Like, they're almost always just absolute money. But when they're not, it's really funny. It's absolutely hilarious. And they always end up being the highest scoring guy on the whole team because, of course, they're doing all the extra points. They're doing all the field goals and everything. Let's get these hooked up power-wise. Probably not going to look super great, but it is going to work. And that is the most important thing. Is that going to be the center of this? I guess it doesn't really matter. I probably shouldn't spend so much time worrying about it, but... Ooh, that doesn't look good. Is it actually heinous? Let's, I can live with this for now. I guess that's fine. But whatever. Who cares? It doesn't matter. I just have to have this hooked up somehow, somewhere. Shouldn't spend too much time worrying about appearances. So now this is set up like that. Yeah, it just goes through this little webbing here. I guess that's fine. So that going there works okay. Of course, these don't have their materials yet, so they're not going to do anything, but if I have this come out this way, straight across, because I do have power poles right here. So maybe I should be a little bit more careful about how I have this laid out, but that right there will work. This here will work. That there will work, and then that going to this will also work, and now all of this is going to turn on, except this one is red because why? Did I not hook it up? Maybe I didn't. Okay, now it's hooked up. So we're going to get a whole bunch of rotors made really quick. This will fill up. Hopefully I did my bad math correctly on getting the right amount of screws in here. So I don't want to build another screw factory. Yeah, so this is flying through here. Because of the way that is splitting. I think eventually, I really hope I didn't hook it up to the wrong thing. I think eventually it should be fine. But this may need to back up before that can get completely filled. Because in theory that will only take 300 if the other one doesn't back up. I may have done this wrong. Yeah, because that's only taking half of... I've been playing for 2 hours. Yes, I know. Yeah, so this doesn't sit right with me. I may need to... I need to modify this. Right now, 300 coming through here, 300 coming through here. This should... See, that's a merger. Ah! Okay, it's merging... I thought it was merging into this one. Okay, so this does need to be set up to be exactly the opposite. That's unfortunate. So that needs to split between here and here, not the other way around. Okay, so that goes out. That goes out. I know this is going to be an absolute mess to try and fix. But I'm wondering if it will just pick up without me having to do this. This being a merger. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to have to redo the belts going into this, but this should allow me to hopefully get that taken care of. Okay, splitter. Cannot attach directly to that. That would have been too easy. Too easy. Okay. See. Splitter. That's the input, that's the output. No, I need to hit the other button. Mark 4. Here to here. So we know that's not going to play nice, but I just have to remove that. Remove that. Remove that. And remove that. And all of this gets to be Mark 4. I think that should solve our problems. Alright, so that, yeah, there we go. Now that one's completely full. This gets the leftovers. This will back up at some point and then send stuff through to that. I had that reversed because I didn't have anything on this side yet. Yeah, see, there we go. This 300 is backing up because this is full, because this is full. But it shouldn't be that much of an issue. This is just going to be ideally taking all 300 of this without this being a problem. I don't know. Maybe the math doesn't work out. Maybe I need a priority merger or something that I don't have yet because this is still splitting. But once this backs up, this will just take everything, or it should. Yeah, the priority merger, priority split, or whatever is going to have its own whole can of worms to figure out. Okay. So this has stopped because, of course, we disconnected most of that mess. Now we just have to get our... here we go. We have to get our pipes, which now are actually producing 66, but we only need to have... Oh, I got rid of my stuff. I minimized that screen. What is this taking? 15. We only need 60, which is good because I'm only going to have a Mark 1 belt anyway. So, I think I have enough to go ahead and remove this. That's fine. That needs to go here. That needs to go, which means that needs to go. And I have a very full inventory. I don't think I have any crates left over. No. Okay. Now we get to do the exact same thing over here, but make it slightly less terrible. Okay. 40 per minute. That can be Mark 1s. That's going to be fine. We'll have the wire come in up top. Should be easy enough to do that. And then this is just going to have splitters. But we need to get these set up first. That's going to be the easiest way to do that. So that is correct there. Okay. That should be connected just fine. And then this last one does not have to have a splitter. Mark 1 belt. It's going to bulge out a little bit because of course it is, but that's the way it goes. That's 40 there. That's going to need to be a Mark 2. But the rest of this is fine with a Mark 1. That's the wrong one. So 40, 80. This is going to be 120 past here, so that means this is going to be a Mark 3, which then means that has to hook up to where our wire's coming through, and that's already a Mark 3. The way this is set up, I already have that in place. If I just come straight out from here, just grab a stackable conveyor pole, line it up right with that. This can just come all the way out here and we'll have it be completely straight. Absolutely no problems. Until it intersects with that. What's that? That is empty because that is rubber coming from the other side. Well, It's not going to be permanent. Oh, that looks awful. Oh, man. Alright, fine. I'll leave it like it is. We'll just move it over when we get over there. It is already set up, and it does technically work, so it's fine. This... I should have just copied that. Yeah, because that also is coming over here, but it's going to be down more. I guess I could have that come all the way down, but that means it's not going to fit here. Why did I do this way? Was this 4? Yeah. I really should not be putting this much thought into this. It doesn't have to be a life-ruining mistake to have these offsets slightly differently. But if I have every 4, so that would be 1, 2, 3, 4 here, which is already where it was. All right, no, no, no. I'm gonna have this here because this. Do I need to really worry about this so much? I don't know. Probably not. I'm just going to get rid of the extra ore. Definitely don't need that. That's taking up too much space. Okay, the pipes definitely can go away. That's fine as it is. But the pipes making the turn here don't need to be a thing, because now this can come down to... That's just a... Where's that connected to? Okay, I don't need that. So that's taken care of. This is not connected to anything. This is just an extra pole. Okay. Nothing shut off, as far as I know. In fact, there's... oh, no, that did. Okay. Well, for the sake of simplicity, I'll just hook that up back to that. 407 out of 500 stuck because we stopped making motors, which is a required component to make more of these. And I would have put summer sloops in this to just double it, but I have to have 4 and I only have 3. What we're trying to do right now is get motors in here so that this can, you know, work correctly. It's always screws. Everything in Satisfactory is screws. That's why the alternate recipes for screws are so great. Because you don't have to worry about them if you have much, much better recipes. Alright, so this can go underneath here. Just put in more splitters, because you know we have to have splitters. That goes there. And these, remember, are just steel pipes, so that can be Mark 1s, and everything will be perfect with Mark 1s. And that has to come in here. So now the whole thing I've been attempting to, you know, do correctly here is to set up, not that, set up our stuff to come in the right way, like that. And then I suppose, depending on how we want to have this come in, we could route it all the same way. So that goes here. That should work okay. That should be fine, but I will take this stack out. Okay, bottom stack can be the Mark 1s. Straight gets mad. Curve looks slightly better. Default is what ends up connecting here to here. Okay. So remember this lower... I don't have iron... What? How do I not have iron plates? Alright. Now we gotta come back over here. That didn't work. No, no, no. Get out of there. No, no, no. There, now I've got my other half stack of junk here. You got that right. Alright. Now I can finally get this hooked up here. Alright. Lower level, once again, is for the pipes. That is fine. The pipes are coming out here, and then I was going to have that attached to this. So, that conveyor belt, if we have the... Oh, look at this. Look how nice this is going to be. All I've got to do is just have this somehow match here. So if that is there, just like so. Oh, that's going to work so nice. As long as that reaches, and it does. Alright, then that just has to reach to here, which I believe... Oh, I guess that's fine if that's only Mark 1. Because that's all I need. If I just have that set here. Straight mode doesn't like that. Curve mode is going to look weird. Default mode is fine. So that's going to get us our pipes. Those will continue going. And then this here, just... Why? Okay. I will just have to have this, I guess, reach all the way through there. Okay, so that gets it across the way. This gets it here. If I have straight, what does straight look like? Oh, yikes. No. No, no, no. We're not going to do that. What about... What's curve look like? Default is fine. Okay. So Mark 3s all the way across. Mark 3s into this. Which I believe, friends, is going to get us all the pieces we need to finally start making stators here, which will get us started on making motors, and then motors have to be output somewhere else. Now, I do have summer sloops. I don't have enough to do both machines, so I won't. But this will give us the exact same output of motors that we had before. We just have to merge it and then take it up into our manufacturer. So let's give ourselves a spot here. Mark 1s are going to be fine. Not a big deal. Straight mode. Have this go all the way up here. Straight mode is going to make it go through stuff it shouldn't be going through. So, default mode will be fine. And that is going to be that. Everything else is there. Now we just need motors. Which we should see stators coming out of here pretty quick. Now that we have all the materials. There we go. Go here, go there, go everywhere. These machines will turn on. Is it possible to make a forever circle where you get stuck inside the tube? Yes. That is one of the components behind those hypertube cannons. Unless they change that mechanic. You just have it just go over and over and over and over and over again until you decide you want to leave. But we've made our first motor with this thing, and it's going there. It's ugly, but it works, and it should be balanced. If this is completely full, which it seems like it is, and it's backing up, so that's a good sign. The rest of this comes through here. Half of that comes through here. It should be 100, but I don't have a way of checking because I have not actually made one of the measurement things, and I don't know where it is. 'Cause I thought I unlocked it. Maybe not. Yeah, because you think it would be on conveyors somewhere. Ah, here it is. Conveyor throughput. I do not have quartz crystal, but I could. Anyway, the point behind what I was trying to do today was to actually correctly make 10 motors per minute, which would allow this to do what it needs to do. Because this, at 250% clock speed, only needs 5. So that's going to back up. It's going to have us do some storage. And if I got a 4th summer sloop, I could, you know, multiply the output of this thing, which would be tremendous. It seems like everything is working just about as well as I wanted it to. Now, the correct thing to do is not to have one manufacturer doing all this. It's to have, to make 5 per minute of these, or it's not making 5 per minute. 2.5 per minute is to have 2.5 machines, but instead I've overclocked it to 250%. You know how it goes. I'm honestly just impressed the power grid hasn't failed yet, and I'm expecting that to go any moment now. But it does work, and it is making 10 motors a minute without me having any augmentations on this whatsoever. I really want that one to turn green. I don't know why it hasn't. Is it actually making anything? Because it's also possible it's not... Oh! Well, there's your problem. Okay. Now it should be going. Very good. Yeah, because the rotors are backed up because I didn't have enough stators going, but that should be fine. I guess I will put a whole stack of 100 in here and 100 in here because I do have those. There we go. So that should be perfect now. We just have to wait for everything to completely equalize, and then there we go. So, yep, 10 motors a minute. Mission accomplished. If there was a summer sloop nearby, then I'd go find it, but I don't think there is. We can take a look, just briefly. If anything pops up here. I don't think it will, but no Mercer spheres either. Well, it's fine. I am curious, though, what do I have to do to make the rifle? Because I definitely need to have one of those. I've not seen any of the new King of the Hill. I've heard it's good. Okay, that is the rifle with the definite article. So I already have some rifle ammo. But to make... 100 motors, that's probably why I didn't do it. But I also have to have smokeless powder, which requires black powder, which requires sulfur and coal. I had some, then I made bombs. You know, as one does. So I guess I should see if I have any of that stuff. I don't... that's petroleum coke. That's not the same thing. No, I would have to go and get some sulfur manually, and I do not remember where that is. So, is there anything else? Do I even have sulfur coming in from anything? I don't think I do. But I definitely have it unlocked. Wow, this is far. Impure sulfur. Okay, there's a bunch over here, but it's still impure. That is pure sulfur. Okay. Good. I feel like I should know about this. But I don't have anything set up. I don't want to go all the way over there, though. Maybe that would be a next time thing. Not entirely sure. Okay, well, at least we know it's there. I will put this here so I don't forget. Yeah, so this is totally fine now. I wish I had that fourth one so this could double the output. That would be crazy. It would also consume just unbelievable quantities of power. It's also just neat to watch the animations on this stuff. Well, at any rate, that's what I wanted to do today, was to get that done. And we got it done, so I guess... Oh, it's only 2.5 hours. I do have other stuff I need to do. I need to record water beavers. That's going to be a fun episode. Yeah, so not seeing any other reason to delay it. I guess we can go ahead and just cut here and pick this back up. I don't know. Probably not Thursday. I have no idea what my stream schedule, video schedule is going to be like this week. I got a bunch of stuff I got to do. So we'll see what happens, I guess. Instead of trashing stuff, dimension upload it. I am dimension uploading. I've got dimension upload for screws, which that's what's being sunk mostly now. Everything else is fine. I'm not going to need iron ore. I'm probably never going to need any ore up here. And iron rod. I don't have iron plate going up. That's maybe something I should probably do. But I didn't have enough Mercer spheres to make enough of these, so I just wanted the most annoying common things to be available. And that's fine. Encased industrial beams is what you use to make Tier 4 conveyors. Tier 5, of course, is the alkyd aluminum sheets, but we haven't gotten there yet. Steel pipe, steel beams, also annoying. I probably should increase the capacity before I actually add other items, because I know I'm going to be using a whole lot of these at some point. But I digress. Yeah. I'm going to go do other stuff, take care of my videos for tomorrow, and then see what else I'm going to be doing this week. Like I said, I got a lot of stuff going on. I might end up not doing videos in at least 1 or 2 days. We'll see. But I appreciate you guys being here, as always. Fun to hang out, fun to chat, just do all sorts of random stuff. So have a fantastic rest of your day, and we'll see you later. Take care. Bye-bye.